Okay, the Royal Rumble went down last night, and it had the ending I wanted, and yet still seemed kind of weak. I'm gonna go over it in just a sec. Okay, so for the longest time, the Royal Rumble was my favorite kind of match. It was just interesting, fun, and full of surprises. So last night's Rumble didn't quite match up. You know, man, first off, it was everything I don't like about modern wrestling in trying to not be predictable and ended up being predictable. And that was kind of a bother to me. It had a lot of people I just don't like. And there's a lot of and there are a lot of modern wrestlers I'm just not a fan of. It's not that I dislike them. I just can't get behind them because they're kind of bland and boring and there. I mean, there's no excitement to them. It kept looking like Monday Night Football rather than a wrestling match. So that's the thing too. I mean, didn't like that. I know they're trying to look more modern and it's the look that always gets me. It does. The screens around the ring and all that crap. It just So, there's just a couple things I'll talk about. First off, the man's Royal Rumble led, which is to me stupid because that's, every now and again you had a main event that you could pull off as being after the Rumble, but not often. That wasn't always the case, and usually, for me, it never works. So, yeah, you had Roman Reigns defeating people again, and then Sami Zayn turned on him, and da 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 da. Yeah, and I was completely bored because it was like, okay, sure, this is what is anymore. Oh, the bloodline is attacking, boo. And I saw headlines like, "Here, oh, Roman Reigns has nuclear heat now." No, Roman Reigns is boring, and Rhea Ripley winning the Women's Rumble. Not a bad finish. It worked. I wouldn't say I hated it. But at the same time, the Women's Rumble, it's not that I'm against women's wrestling. It's that the Women's Rumble, again, just not that interested. I don't get behind a whole lot of female wrestlers. Not that there's not female wrestlers. It's not that it's like all female wrestlers. It's just, to me, there's not enough of them there to really grab me, bring me in, and make me want to watch 30 of them go over the top rope. Okay, so I got that out of the way. The glow-in-the-dark match, the rave party match, whatever you want to call it, it's just dumb. I mean, it looked like a rave party, and yeah, I get at least it's something different, but man, it just, nothing about it worked for me. I mean, it was just and maybe some people liked it, I don't know, but I was just sitting there watching it going, this looks stupid, this looks so dumb, this looks like you switched the contrast on the TV. Of course, I'm probably dating myself with that one because, how do you do that? Yeah, well, anyhow. So, now I'm going to go to the beginning of the main Rumble. And, gosh, to me, some little happened. And to me, the Royal Rumble has high spots. And, one of them, I think one that was intended was Kofi Kingston was going to land on a chair, and I think he botched it. I'm not positive. I think he botched it. He kind of went in with too much momentum, and he fell over, and then he was eliminated. I think he might have been trying to do a Kofi-ism for the Rumble, and it just didn't work out. It looked like there for a second they were going to try to say, oh, but his other foot never touched the floor. Well, it didn't happen that way. So, then, there was what should have been a highlight was Brock Lesnar comes in and then he's eliminated by Bobby Lashley. Now, this was just turned so stupid because I'm watching it. And I am not a fan of Brock Lesnar. I never have been. And I know people want to say, oh, God, he's the greatest. He's so big and tough. And I'm like going, eh. And, you know, I'm not a huge fan of Lashley, but I'm a bigger fan of Lashley than I am of Lesnar. And Lesnar, when he was eliminated, literally starts throwing a baby fit. And this is the way I saw it, too. I mean, it just came across that way. It's like, let me throw the top of the announce table into the ring. Let me smash the steps on the table. And everybody's going like, oh my God. And I'm going, baby Huey done lost it, dude. Poor thing. Needs to go home and take his nappy. And then he came out and beat up somebody that I forgot already, and it was just sad. Did lead to Seth Rollins having a good moment of eliminating that guy. I can't remember who it was now, but anyway. So but what was a good highlight, and you know, again, I'm not a fan of either one of these guys, and I thought this was great. Logan Paul and Ricochet jumped across the ring and clotheslined each other in the air. That was cool. That was real cool. I liked it. It was, you know, I mean, it takes a lot for me to enjoy a moment with two guys I'm not a fan of. So props to them. That was a good moment. Now, moving on. Another low light was the way Dominic Mysterio enters to the ring, implying he did something to his dad, Ray. And I didn't like it just implying it. I would have liked if we gotten some kind of confirmation. Maybe Ray came out there injured like Bret Hart did, you know, or maybe we went backstage and, oh no, there's Ray out cold on the floor. You know, I mean, at least give us some kind of confirmation that, you know, Dominic did something. I'm sure that's the storyline, but, you know, make it to where we know what happened. So, anyway, all of the Judgment Day comes out, and boom, out of nowhere, here comes Edge. And Edge spears all of them. He eliminates two, and then he gets eliminated. But it was a good moment. I mean, I liked it. I liked it a great deal. I liked that Edge got some revenge on the Judgment Day. It worked for me. It worked real well for me. And then Beth Phoenix got some revenge on Rhea Ripley. All of it worked. All of it. Every bit of it worked. And then, of course, Cody Rhodes comes out. Now, I'm glad Cody won. I liked the spots he did in the match. It was a little soured by him coming out the number 30 entrant, because I'm just not a fan of the winner of the Rumble coming out at number 30. Now, I don't think he needed to come in at number 1 either, don't get me wrong. I mean, I just think he could come in at 22, 23, 25 even, and it would have been just as good. To me, it soured it a little bit because he was the freshest guy. And, you know, in the past, when they've done victories with the 30th man winning, I felt the same way every single time. And, you know, yeah, while the winning coming in at entrant number 1 is a bit far-fetched, but it can be done, and it can be convincing. Yeah, you shouldn't do it every year. Oh, I forgot, that's what Rhea Ripley did this year, too. Yeah, obviously they're giving her a big push, but yeah. But making it 30th, especially since he was going up against the number 1 in the last, I mean, he was going up against Gunther, and so they went back and forth, and finally Cody beat him. But you know, it seemed less to me. I mean, I really like that Cody won. I like that he gets to go to WrestleMania and hopefully defeat Roman Reigns. God, that guy. Anyway, yeah, so that, at least it turned out pretty good at the end, but I wouldn't recommend it as one of the better Royal Rumbles, even though Michael Cole's like, that's the greatest Royal Rumble ever. I'm like, no, it's not. It was actually kind of boring, and I think a couple of spots got missed because some timing was off, from what I can gather. So, that's kind of my assessment on Royal Rumble. I'd give it a 3-star rating. I mean, it's just okay. Wasn't great. Wasn't bad. All right, that's going to wrap it up. I'll be watching the road to WrestleMania as all of you are, and we'll see how this goes this year. Thanks for listening.